Welcome back. I've been joined in person now by Barry Avutu Johnson, Country Director of VMCI, and Lucky Obiyan is the President, African Emancipation Movement Initiative, and a former candidate for House of Reps in Edo State. Welcome, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go straight from what you said there. We'll start with an event that was happening perhaps around the same time you were giving that, or perhaps afterwards. Yesterday, we saw that the PDP also, protested to the INEC gates and requested a cancellation of the election, which is a similar thing to what you're saying.
Yes.
I'd like to get your thoughts on that, and if you are aligned in thoughts in terms of cancellation of election for the same reasons.
Well, thank you for having me. I like to tell Nigerians that the agitation for free and fair elections in Nigeria is expected to be bottled with the capacity for the reality for a country of our dreams. And what you saw yesterday by the PDP, for me, is like a movie that will never come to reality, because you cannot be agitating or protesting to for an election you did not win. There's no way an Atiku phenomenon will have an heir in the South or the Southeast at this 2023 presidential election. So how did Atiku win any election? Atiku didn't win any election. So definitely their protest is just a protest of show of shame. And for me, if you ask me, I'll tell you for free, Atiku never won any 2023 general election as president or as a presidential candidate. In the first place, Atiku never was in the race, because there's no way you can run politics of Nigeria without talking about ethnicity, religion, and politics of money, because politics needs money to operate itself. So why would an Atiku tell us he won an election? He became second. He became second from a fraudulent display by the INEC leadership. The whole world knows that Atiku was not in the 2023 presidential race. When it comes to the balance of presenting candidates, you cannot have, in a country like Nigeria, you cannot have a Muslim from the north hold power for 8 years. You now bring another Muslim from the north with 8 years, or a Fulani man comes again for 8 years in the capacity of President Muhammadu Buhari, and another Fulani man again in the capacity of Atiku to run Nigeria again. Nigerians are not foolish. Nigerians are not blind. Politics comes with balance. And for fairness, equity, and justice, it is very clear that Atiku was not in the race. In the first place, he did not even win the primary election in his PDP party, because we all saw how that election was bought. So we didn't see fairness for internal democracy before he even became a candidate. So from that aspect alone, Nigerians who understand politics, or Nigerians who want free and fair elections, will know and will tell it free of charge that Atiku was not in the race. So their protest against the INEC fake result released to Nigerians is just a show of shame for me.
All right, let's say for you, Mr. Lucky. Now, if you can expatiate on why you're calling for the cancellation of this result, of this election.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon, Nigerians. We are calling for the outright cancellation of the results because the entire election or electoral process was highly compromised and flawed. INEC reneged in their promise, and at the same time, all the shenanigans, the chicaneries that took place during the election are on the public domain. You could see, we could recall with nostalgia when Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, he so reassured Nigerians, even the international community, even at the Chatham House. He kept reassuring the international community and his primary community, which is the Nigerian people, that this election will go down history as one of the best under his watch. that there was going to be an improvement from where he took up from Jega and all of that. And predominantly, he centered his assurance around the uploading of results right from the polling units. That was what gave Nigerians the confidence to come out. We had so many first-time voters. We've had issues where people who hitherto experienced or practiced desert that confidence was reenacted within the political space in Nigeria. And a lot of people had to come out en masse to cast their ballot, in quote, with the confidence that INEC was going to make their election count. But what happened at the end of the day? INEC sold out to the highest bidder. All of a sudden, the senatorial election results were uploading. That of the House of Reps side by side was uploading. The smallest constituency, which is the presidency, because if you look at the Senate, you have 109 members. And you're talking about a lot of senatorial districts here. You look at the Federal House of Representatives, 360 members. You can imagine the number of constituencies. Ordinarily, we didn't experience any network glitch. But when it got to the presidency, that is even the smallest of all the constituencies, there were glitches. Thank God for the internet. If you go through the INEC portal right now, you'll see a full display of the original results as being uploaded by INEC. Because what they did was to turn down the server. And the way the beavers was programmed, it's just like your phone. When you send a message through WhatsApp and the system is offline, the message remains there. The moment you hook up to data, it pops up and it goes. That's what happened to them. Now they are in a serious confusion right now. As I speak to you, go to INEC, go to the IREF portal of INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. You'll see the actual result, how the election went, what Peter Obi scored as the winner of that election, followed by Atiku Tinubu, and Atiku came third in that election.
All right, I like this question is open to both of you. When you speak about the results on IREF, which is something we are seeing,
yes,
people referencing, do you still think this was a collusion or INEC selling to the highest bidder? If it is their own site now that seems to be the thing that people are using to hold them, why couldn't they just have uploaded the quote-unquote fake results?
Because from the beginning of the arrangement of the electioneering process, we kept telling the world that this INEC leadership is a fraud, but nobody cares to listen. From the beginning of the electioneering process, we saw an INEC that has already compromised by the registration, by the refusal to even register some political parties, who has every quality it takes to be flying as a political party. They did not accept application for the registration of any political party. From that time, we knew that there's something happening. This INEC, led by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is corrupt. We have seen what they have done so far, and it's not new to us. We knew they were working with Mr. President. But a lot of people in Nigeria do not want to speak out because they are afraid of being arrested, they are afraid of being killed. I am turning on the aspect of life which says you talk, you die, you don't talk, you don't die, you die. Whether you talk, you die. Whether you don't talk, you still die. So why not just talk and talk the truth?
Well, what about the issue of proof? If you're asked to,
we have the proofs, their action, their body language. It's only in Nigeria you see people appointed to positions and they still hold value to taking orders from people who are not supposed to give them orders. Look, let me tell you, the only way INEC chairmanship in Nigeria will not be teleguided by the presidency is when the presidency has no right to appoint the INEC chairman. There's no way Mahmoud Yakubu will not do the bidding of the APC that appointed him in power. It is hard. It is very, very hard. The Constitution has already given us the opportunity to know that anybody who appoints an INEC chairman has authority over that chairman. And we have seen it already in the body language of what we have seen so far in the release of the election, in the release of the results.
Right, that takes us to President Muhammadu Buhari. He promised to leave a free and fair elections as a part of his legacy.
He promised with his mouth. He did not promise with the action. The body language of Mr. President is enough to tell you that he is in a game against the Nigerian people to give us a president of our choice. One of the major reasons, when the president voted in Daura, what did he do? The system of our voting is called secret open ballot system. But what did we see in Daura? Open ballots, because the president voted and raised his ballot papers, showing to the crowd who he voted for before he put the voting papers, or the what do they call it, the slip, into the box. That is a crime already. Mr. President should be arrested, but because of the impunity he has as president of Nigeria, so we are waiting for the day he will step aside, May 29, then we can arrest him, or we can call for his arrest, because that is a crime, and that is already an abuse of office, and that is already also a sign to everyone working under the INEC influence that this is the person, this is the party we want to end up being the winner. Because Mr. President is the father of Nigeria. Mr. President is in the lead front of everything that happens in the electioneering process, because he appointed the national chairman of INEC. Definitely he has shown the INEC chairman that this is the party and this is the person we want to be president in Nigeria. And it all played out. That is our number one evidence that Mr. President is part and parcel of the script that INEC played for the 2023 general election. But we are calling on Nigerians to understand that the real winner of this election remains Peter Obi of the Labour Party. And we are here to speak to our country people and the international community to stand up to help Nigeria defend its democracy and people. That press conference you saw yesterday was because we sat down and asked ourselves a question of, do we just sit down and these wrongs are continued in Nigeria? We are young people. We are talking about our children's generation, not even our own generation. Nigeria is a place where everybody is seen to be corrupt. But no, it is not everybody who is corrupt in Nigeria. We still have some people who are real, who are in the reality of a Nigeria of our dreams, of a Nigeria that is possible. And the Nigerian people, the Nigerian youth, Nigerian women made up their mind to vote Peter Obi to kickstart the influence of a new Nigeria. And we don't see any reason why Mr. President will gang up with the Senate, with the INEC chairman and the leadership to rig the people away from their votes. That's why we have said we will not recognize Ahmed Bola Tinubu of the APC as president-elect. And if they force him on Nigeria, I tell you, what they saw during the NSAS will be small to what will happen in Nigeria. We are not threatening anybody. We are going to be peaceful. But the fact remains that this is the first time the heart of Nigerians will speak in the action that we'll take. We are going to protest. We are not going to accept Ahmed Bola Tinubu as our president or president-elect. And we are going to protest until the INEC chairman is removed, until the election is cancelled. And if they can't cancel this election, they should declare Peter Obi the legitimate winner of the 2020 presidential election as president-elect. And if they do this, you will see Nigeria will go agog. Nigeria will go into a national celebration, because I know what will happen if Peter Obi is declared as president-elect following the influence of the release of the results given by the viewers.
All right, Mr. Barry, we'll delve further into that conversation much deeper. But for now, we'll go on a quick break, just a very short break, a sip break. When we return, we'll go further into the issue of Peter Obi's claim of rigged election. Stay with us, we'll be back. All right, welcome back. I'm still with Mr. Barry and Mr. Lucky here. I'd like to put an accusation, about Peter Obi's followers and obedience, which is that you're very boisterous and you tend to bully others. your stance currently, do you think it might make it might rub people up the wrong way, seeing as a lot of people have advised Peter Obi to simply congratulate Bola Ahmed Tinubu and then continue with his process just for the sake of peace? You've said you will be peaceful, but there could be other obedience who are saying, you know what, we're not going to be peaceful, we will not accept this, and maybe thinking something else. Don't you think to calm and douse tension, that is the way to go?
No, I think
being peaceful.
Being peaceful does not mean you cannot protest. Our protest is not a violent protest. Our protest is to speak our mind, our voice to the people of Nigeria and to the international community. Because you see, the decision of INEC to even go ahead to continue the collation and even releasing of the result is a crime already. It's a crime against justice, fairness and equity. It's a crime against the Nigerian people who voted for Peter Obi. So practically, sitting down and doing nothing will not help Nigeria get back to glory. This is the kind of elections we've been seeing in this country. In 1993, we had MKO's election, who the world says is the best election so far Nigeria ever had. This election is the election that have dealt with that one. If we now say because INEC has gone ahead to declare a man who never won even his local government or his ward as president, it is wrong for us to sit down and do that. So the reason why we are doing this protest and making sure the information goes down to every nook and cranny in Nigeria and across the world is for the truth, for the fact of the reason why Nigerians came out to vote for a real change, not the APC chain that we have seen for 8 years. So if we continue to say, this man has done this, this man has done this, and we know the right thing and we are not following it to the letter, Nigeria will not move to the next level. So we urge all Nigerians who voted for Peter Obi to understand that this is the time for us to come together, hold ourselves as one family, and protest peacefully. We don't need to be violent. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, are protesting. That's another style of protesting. So we don't need to fight. We don't need to do anything wrong. That's why in our press briefing yesterday, we are advised the military to stay clear from this issue. It's a political issue. Nigeria is not in a political crisis. Nigeria is only in a political pandemonium that we can sit down with. The politicians can sit down and find a way out of it. But all we are saying here is that Peter Obi won this election. The world knows, INEC knows, even Atiku himself, who suffered himself yesterday to be moving up and down as a protester, he knows that Peter Obi won.
Right.
Because they have the details that Peter Obi won this election.
All right, so let's hear from Mr. Lucky there. Why I put that question is, you know, the issue of the candidate himself. In his press briefing, he made a statement. He said, they said I should go to court. Let's go to court, you know. So the question is, if the candidate himself, so to speak, the leader of the movement, has picked a way to go. Take, for instance, the protest you're speaking about. The PDP themselves called for that protest. All the way from the upper echelon, the leadership, they called for that. So if the candidate is already going to court, why not, you know, support him in that way, you know, rather than obviously protest are constitutionally your rights. But if he has chosen one method, why aren't all the followers towing that line?
Well, thank you very much. Before I answer that question, permit me to excavate history a little.
Right.
It's Alexander Hamilton in his Federalist paper, number 78, May 28, 1788. He tried to dichotomize the three arms of government. And in that Federalist paper 78, number 78, he said, of the three arms of government, the weakest is the judiciary. Reason, because they don't have the sword to defend their judgment. Neither do they have the purse to warehouse their money. Now, in that context, drawing analogy with what you just asked, the fact that my principal, Mr. Peter Obi, has decided to toe the path of honor, because if you recall very vividly, before the election results were announced, the APC and its camp were busy telling Nigerians, telling it to the face of Nigerians, that all the opposition parties that are not satisfied with this election should go to court. That was even before the result of the election was announced. And after the announcement of the result, they said go to court. The question is there something we don't know? Could they have written the judgment? Do they have the premonition on how the outcome of that entire process is going to end? But we are sounding a note of warning to them. Our principal has decided to toe the path of honor. They said we should go to court. He has gone to court. And I have good news for the obedience all over the world. Last week, Thursday, he filed a lawsuit in order for the court to grant permission to the Labour Party to inspect the materials and as well inspect the server and the entire beavers machine and all of that. Then on Friday, the court granted that prayer, and only for INEC to come in between the line. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah. They applied to the High Court that for a restraining order, that they have a configuration of system arrangement to undertake. So in respect to the election coming up 11th of March. So with that, they are seeking an order to restrain PDP and the Labour Party from inspecting the materials so that they can tamper with the beavers. Thank God for the Court of Appeal. Rules are made for men and we must follow those rules. The Court of Appeal had to turn down that request by INEC that let status quo remain, allow Labour Party to exhaust the reason why they came to court, to exhaust the process of inspecting those materials. They shouldn't tamper with the materials that they use in conducting the election. So that's a good one for us, and we're beginning to get confidence in that respect. Now, regarding the question you asked, why is it that our principal is going going through the path of court, and we are also calling for the outright cancellation? It's going to be a stick and carrot approach, because power is not given, but power is taken, and the posture. And if you look at the posture of the APC, or Progressive Congress, you could see the attack dogs, those in the communication unit of the PCC. You could see the characters that are there. These are the same characters that want to remain in government. And we are saying no, because they have gotten the mandate through an illegitimate process. The president-elect today, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not the president-elect of Nigeria. It's only the president-elect of INEC and the APC. That is why we are calling for the outright cancellation on one hand, and on the other hand, if they say we should go to court, we are ready to go to court. We have started the process. You could see over 20 sons have thrown their hearts in the ring to defend this mandate. And these are men with esoteric wisdom, men with impeccable pedigree. They have all come out, those who have distinguished themselves within the legal profession. So Nigerians today, the obedient movement, we are resolute, and we will not rest until we reclaim that mandate that they have illegally and forcefully taken away from us. This is the first time Nigerians, we had about over 11 million new voters coming into this election, and you just there was a young lady, she said, I was communicating with her this morning. I saw her post somewhere, and I had to private chat her. I said, what's the problem? You said you're not going to vote anymore. This was the second time you are voting, and this second time there's no confidence that she was going to destroy her PVC. I said, look, I'm going to send you 3,000 naira, just 3,000 naira. Go to any of the cafeterias, get an ice cream. Just take and cool your temper. We will reclaim our mandate. You must continue to vote. Don't destroy that PVC. My own way of pacifying Nigerians, because what they've succeeded in doing is to erode that confidence from the hearts of the Nigerian people.
Yeah, I was actually going there. Yes. You've got there before me.
Okay.
I wanted to get the mood based on the both of you here in the studio. I can see you are still fired up, but just like you had a conversation, I also had a conversation with someone privately, and there was this feeling of dejection that. If that's before the results were announced, and the person said, if this candidate is not announced, I'm not coming out again. I'd like to know how you are dealing with that. Looking at what happened, Labour Party won 12 states. I don't think anybody, really expected that kind of showing. You won some Senate, you won some House of Reps, and so on. And to be fair, I think that the other parties are more prepared for you now, come March 11th. So how are you fighting this idea that people are a bit worried that my vote will not count this time around? Because I believe that a lot of the political players are counting on people not coming out. So how are you dealing with that issue?
Yes, you're talking about the 11th March, the election.
Yes, governorship elections.
Yes, you could see our principal has given a directive that, look, all obedience, the same way and manner they voted for him massively, and our National Assembly candidates across Nigeria, that they should all come out. They shouldn't be despaired. They shouldn't, relax complacently with still trying to bask in that unfortunate event that took place February 25th, sorry. So with what is on ground, we're trying to placate. We have various channels of placating our group. We have our groups. We also have channels of communicating to all the obedience around the country that, look, you must come out. Let us show these people. We have to retire some of these people, because our principal will restore his mandate. And by the time he becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he needs some governors to work with. As you already know, we have over almost 40, if not 40 to be precise. I think 6 senators and about 36 Federal House of Representative members already. So I think we have about 13 or 14 governorship candidates, gubernatorial candidates for this election. And take it or leave it, with what emanated or transpired almost 2 weeks ago during the presidential election, we are going to have a reverberating scenario during this election. And one thing you must also understand is the fact that the obedient people, you have all manner, whenever you see a Nigerian, if you see a criminal, a beautiful criminal he becomes. If you see a scholar, he's a knockout. Anything a Nigerian is doing is worth doing well. Nigerians...
All right, Mr. Loki, just a moment. Let's hear from our caller.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Can you hear us? We can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? We lost that call. All right, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, when you look at Nigerians, more especially the obedient family, you see for the very first time, the confidence in the electoral process, that apathy that used to be there. Let me tell you something. When Obama came to Ghana, when the President Barack Obama, when he was the US president, when he came to Ghana in 2008, there was something he said in that speech. He said, docility on the part of followership does not ensure the growth of any nation.
All right. He said we'll delve into that statement. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? I'm good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Plateau.
All right, your name?
My name is Chijoke.
All right, Chigoke, go ahead.
Chijoke first.
Go ahead.
What I'm talking about that issue where you talk between Tinubu and Atiku and Obi. I hope that number one is Tinubu is the one that wins. I hope that she's the one that wins. Number two, Atiku. What of that affected for the guy that she's behind you. She's talking about it. Obi. You understand me?
Yes. Please, we lost that call. Please, when you call, do try and keep it under a minute and then speak well enough. All right, let's take another caller before we continue. Hello. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My And then I'm Okaf.
All right, please go ahead.
I'm calling from Aba, Abia State.
All right.
I think I'm the right place, Kaftan TV.
Yes. You're on to Kaftan TV. Go on.
Okay. See what I'm talking about? Based on the election aftermath, right? Is what the discussion right now.
Yes, aftermath. Yes.
Okay. So what I'm talking about is this. Based on what happened last 25th of February this year on election day, like where my polling unit at Aba here, that for example that the INEC did not come in time, most of the planet, and the other side there nobody is even showed up. At the end of the day, they concluded everything and gave the fake result, and they gave Tinubu the presidential candidate, Nigerian presidential candidate of the APC, the president-elect of the APC. Then now, don't you think that because of this, it might even jeopardize the next election for people to come out and vote because of this issue? And at the end of the day, this might even happen. People might not even have to come out again in order to vote for their right candidate because of what happened. Because many people are sharing today that maybe if they come out, their vote may not be counted. Then how are we expect people to come out and vote? Instead of again, if we vote, the same people also ring our election, and nobody will do anything about it. Now, I believe the first thing is to cancel this particular election, and in the new election, all the people will be automatically candidates as the presidential candidate, as president-elect of this election, because he wins the election free and fair. Even where I did my own particular day, everything was OB. In everywhere, even my own younger brother work at INEC at the party. The same thing happens everywhere. But I was going to get another different result after what we see and what we did. I'm talking from Abia State.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Before we run out of time, let's quickly head over to Mr. Barry there. The same question on the issue of governorship election. What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen? What is it going to be like? Especially also taking into account that in some places there were issues of violence, especially in places that were reportedly targeted to be for certain opposition or party or thereabouts. So the videos say. So, what is the plan this time around?
Well, you see, I will not let the cat out of the bag on how it will go. But we already know what will happen at the end of the day. Like in the aspect of the APC in Lagos, it's a goodbye. Lagos is a goodbye. Lagos has already become the property of the Labour Party. If Labour Party does not win in Lagos, then you know that there will be a big problem in Lagos because the Lagosians already spoke at the presidential election where they want to go to.
Right.
So it's a goodbye for APC in Lagos.
All right, let me hear from this caller. All right, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Good afternoon. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Omoshari Bamidele.
All right, Mr. Bamidele, please go ahead. Make your contribution.
My name is Omoshari Bamidele.
Go ahead, please.
I am calling from Ondo State.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
So, if we say we should look at this election results, what I noticed is that if we said we should calculate each state, you understand? So it's from there you will get the truth, the truth about the results. Because I don't know how people is thinking like this. That okay, when you know the party agent when they were calculating the results. So when you know the way you're supposed to stand on your own public and you challenge the election that this election was rigged. But you know that. So I I noticed one thing is that nobody can challenge the federal government. Federal government has the power to persist on everybody. This is as human rights.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
So, have freedom and human rights to pay. And that moment, okay, now, look at what they are causing now in Abuja now. Look at what they are causing now in Abuja now. Or everywhere was wrong in Abuja road today, and which is not supposed to be done like that.
All right.
Since you have carried this case, you have gone to court. Then, when the court will judge now.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Let's just take. I'm so sorry. Let's just take this final call so that we can move on with the conversation. Hello. All right. I think that's the last call we'll take. I'm so sorry for that. Now, the question,
Yes.
you mentioned that Lagos is already gone and
Yes.
that because they spoke in the presidential.
Yes.
So the question to you now is, do you think that all the states you won are up for grabs again?
Yes.
Why do you say so? People
Because
don't
the
always
people,
vote
the
the
people,
same.
the Labour people are ready. The Nigerian youths are ready. And let me tell you one other information that a lot of people don't get. Some of the states in the north belong to Obi because they were tired. A lot of state governors who are going belong to Obi, coded. It was a coded deal because they are tired of what's going on. Have you in your life ever thought that a new party like Labour Party will take Nasarawa State? Even the polling station of the national chairman of the APC? Is it possible? But it became possible because it's too glaring. The rigging was massive. Obi won in Kaduna. But we can see what's happening. How will a Labour Party person win in Kaduna State for the Federal House of Reps in just one place? If you understand the politics of Kaduna State, you will know that Kaduna is just like Lagos. Kaduna is a place where it's an all-comer state. So practically we are saying that there are some states that has gone so far. Lagos State is the property of the Labour Party with the influence of the OB phenomenon. Delta State is over. River State is over. Most of the states from the southeast is over. This is the new feeling that we have found ourselves in our politics, and whether they like it or not, it must stand.
Right.
The vote of the people must count.
All right. Well, we're almost out of time now. I just want to get some quick response on some issues. People will say, if you say the election should be cancelled, why do you still make reference to some parts? You say, we won here, you count it, and you say, this other place where I did not win, there was rigging, and people say you are just being, being a sore loser, so to speak. You don't want to accept where you lost.
No, let me.
Like
no. On that issue, you see, like we said,
the question now is there are allegations that your party rigged too, especially in the southeast. So I'd like to get your thoughts, because people say everywhere else you have first, second, third, spread.
Let me tell you,
but in the southeast you have 90% for one person.
Yes,
and
it's possible. It's possible for you to have 90% for one person where you are popular. Remember, I'm a political scientist by academics. It says that you cannot rig in a place where you are not popular. Tinubu was not able to rig in the southeast because it's not popular there. Atiku was not able to rig in the south because it's not popular there. The reason why Atiku was voted in 2019 was because of Peter Obi, who came from the south, the southeast. And remember, Nigerians are hungry to see a southeasterner becoming president of Nigeria. Because Nigeria's presidency is not tied to one tribe. It's not tied to one religion or one ethnic group. So basically, if you are looking for the justice, the fairness and the equity, the balance for a presidency for Nigeria, somebody who has the integrity to lead Nigeria to the next point, I think Peter Obi has these credentials. And with this credential, we've been able to move from one state to the other to take it in peace, just like the way we took Lagos, the way we are going to take Delta, Rivers. We saw what Wike did. And at the end of the day, we saw the shambles.
Right, let's try for one more caller.
Let me say something to
Yeah, you definitely come in. Let's just try for one more caller. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Mama Chidlesson by name.
All right. Where are you calling from?
Cross River State, sir.
All right. Please, let's hear your thoughts.
Hello, sir.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
The issue of this election that...
Go ahead. We can hear you. Hello. I think we lost that call. It's always rare to get a woman on the program. I always want to hear your thoughts, but it was good to hear. Please join in. You were about to say something.
Yeah, before I quickly add to what my brother in the studio here have said, let me quickly disabuse the perception of, I think one of the callers that said we had polling unit agents that were there, that at that point we were supposed to raise objection if we are not sure of the results. I'm putting it to him right there that all the polling unit results, all our polling unit agents, we have video shots, we have snapshots of the E08, what do you call the name of the result sheet form?
Result sheet, yeah.
Yes, we have all our evidences and we're going to flood the court with them. So you shouldn't worry about that. The right place to raise objection was the National Coalition Center.
That's right.
Which some political parties agent did, but the chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, had to turn them down. He rejected the moves with a promise that before he goes ahead, which the Electoral Act stipulates, before he goes ahead to announce the result, he was supposed to resolve those issues that were raised. But he never did that. Rather, he resorted to announcing Bola Ahmed Tinubu nicodemously when Nigerians were at sleep. At about 4 a.m. But we are telling it to him that the court will pronounce Peter Obi as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria during the day for Nigerians to see, not at night. Right. And at the same time, I want to seize this opportunity to appeal to our Lord Justices at the appellate level and at the Supreme Court level.
That's right.
That look, when these proceedings begin, allow the cameras into the courtroom. We are demanding an open proceedings for the world to see, for Nigerians to see, for Nigerians to have access to how justice is being dispensed on the illegality and the ill treatment being meted on our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, during the presidential election. He is our presidential he was our presidential candidate, and he's also our president-elect. All right, we are not aware of any other president-elect.
All right, Mr. Lucky, thank you so much.
Before
we've actually run out of time, because of perhaps we can have another conversation with more time. Thanks for coming. And for our callers out there, I can see the calls still coming in. I'm very sorry that we can't take more of that, but we are here every weekday 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. so do join us tomorrow and for the rest of the week. We'll definitely get some time to take your calls. Thank you so much for joining us, and that's how we end the program today. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. I am Amadine Ogbewe.